he says, he talks about the future being bright. Who would have thought, really, who would have thought that the future being bright, that the future of Dragon Ball Super Broly would be Dragon Ball Super Broly? Welcome. It's May 18th, 2023. This is the official review, my review for Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 93. I will be continuing to do the reviews live instead of doing a review and a live stream because honestly, there isn't enough material for me to do an entire video on when it comes to retelling Dragon Ball Super Superhero, or in this case, Dragon Ball Super Broly. We're going to be discussing that here in a minute. So I think it's better and more fun if I just do these reviews live with you guys. You know what I mean? It's probably, to me, it's just you kill two birds with one stone. I get to be live with y'all sooner than normal, and I get to do some afternoon streams, which are not very common. This is the earliest I've ever done a stream for the manga. It's 11:30 a.m. like in the East Coast. So I know some people are probably at work, and that's fine. This is my review for the manga. You know, whether you like this manga chapter or not, whether you like what they did with or what they're doing with superhero, that's subjective. Some people really like it. Most people I've seen don't really care for it because it's material that we've already seen before in movie form and we've already digested it. And there aren't enough big changes to really support all these changes Toyotaro's making, or I'm sorry, the lack of changes Toyotaro's making. There's not enough to support it being that interesting. And I've said this now for quite some time, and I've talked to you guys, you know, I've spoken to you guys, I've seen your super chats, I've seen your comments, I've seen what you guys have to say. And there's some optimism there. Some people are very optimistic. Others don't care. But the reality is I've seen some optimistic people say, well, they're probably doing this now because they're cooking something big for later. And while I do think there is going to be something big coming later because, you know, we've got the Black Frieza tease and other unresolved stories. Right now, Dragon Ball has probably not been this stale since 2014. And even then, we had like Xenoverse 1 coming out. You know what I mean? Right now, we're in a state of just existing. Luckily, though, I'm still dropping content, and I'm going to try and drop content that I think people are going to like. I try, and, you know, the algorithm ultimately is my master, and I can't make everybody like everything. I've got a video coming out on Saturday with Mike from Laughing Stock Media. We're going to be discussing Gohan's next form after Beast because Toriyama did tease it. We're going to talk about when it's, or not when, but how it could happen, what else they could do. And there's that. And also this Saturday, quick programming note, I'll be live on Twitch streaming 2 more episodes from the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai. So if you're burnt out on Dragon Ball Super, which to be honest with you, I have been for quite some time, I feel like if you go back and watch original Dragon Ball or Z, your love of this series will be reignited because you remember the good times. You remember the times when there was a lot of content. You remember the times when the stories were better. And even though on Twitch we're still a little bit early when it comes to like the early part of Dragon Ball, it's still a lot of fun. So make sure that you stop by the Twitch, twitch.tv/Big D Geekdom 101. So I would appreciate that. I think we got a super chat already. Let me see here. Okay, let me get these two. First of all, welcome Hunter to the Ultra Instinct Army, which, by the way, I'll talk about that here in a minute. Justin Valinsky says, hey, Geekdom, hope you have a great day. I appreciate the videos you do. Cheers. Thank you very much. Make sure you leave a like. We're almost at 500 people. Make sure you leave a like on the video. I would appreciate that on the stream so that way it gets pushed out. We're going to be discussing the manga chapter here in a minute. And once again, you know, the optimism about, well, you know, I'm okay with them I'm okay with them retelling Dragon Ball Super Superhero. A lot of folks have said that. I personally feel like it's a complete waste of time. Um, and I still think it's a waste of time, especially this chapter, because with this chapter, the vast majority of this chapter was a retelling of Dragon Ball Super Broly. So, on one hand, you're retelling a movie that came out a few months ago, really about a year ago in Japan it came out, just about a year ago next month. And then within the story, within the retelling of that movie, you're retelling Broly, which I've seen some people, like, I understand like people's opinions on, well, we never got a manga version of Broly. Who cares? Like, why does that matter? Broly's old. It came out in 2018 in Japan. I would say every Dragon Ball fan that's reading this manga in Japan probably saw the movie. Superhero came out a year ago. People probably saw that. It's just regurgitated, rehashed content. And when Dragon Ball Super, the anime, did that for Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, it was still new. So week by week, we were watching it. I was doing my reviews of it, giving my thoughts. You know how it rolls. But ultimately, I think now that some time has passed, I still think that the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F arcs in Super were a complete waste of time. The movie versions are better. There's a couple things I like more about the anime versions. Like, there's a couple of things I like more, but the movie versions are better. And I do want to make a statement about that right now. There's a lot of people in this fandom that are confused. And it goes back to the whole canon thing. Because, you know, I constantly remind y'all that there is no canon. Stop worrying about canon. But I'm only one man. I'm only one guy. There's people who say things like, well, Dragon Ball Super Broly's being retconned into the manga. Or they retconned Battle of Gods into the anime. That is not the proper use of the word retcon. This is not a retcon. Toei, with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, adapted that from the movie scripts into the TV show. It's an adaptation, not a retcon. Because the movies were written by Toriyama. Battle of Gods was Toriyama and Watanabe. Resurrection F was just Toriyama. So Toei does not have... Toei, to me, does not have authoritative authorship over Toriyama. They just don't. So the more canon versions are what Toriyama wrote. Dragon Ball Super Broly, another movie Toriyama wrote. Superhero, Toriyama wrote it. So I don't care how many changes Toyotaro makes. It'll never be as important as what Toriyama wrote because he's the original creator. Now, some of y'all may not agree with that, and maybe it's a different way of looking at it, but when it comes to canon and that discussion, that's pretty much how it goes down. And because of that, to me, these manga arcs, there's so much untapped potential. There's so many things they could do. I was seeing, and we're going to go through it here. I would like to see some things, and I'm going to discuss it with you guys. Let me get to these quick super chats here. Bellman says, what would you like to see for new Goku clothing? Just the blue gi, which is not really new. I would like that. Alistair Alexander says, upset Toei isn't doing anything with Dragon Ball. I'm hoping when they do decide to do something, it'll be bigger than what they were doing with One Piece. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to supersede One Piece. Make sure you leave a like, by the way, if you're stopping by. King Endgame says, since Toei's dragging its feet, what anime studio do you want to take over for Dragon Ball franchise? It doesn't matter. This question, I understand why you're asking this question, but it doesn't really matter because nobody else is going to take it away from Toei. Like, this idea that, you know, Dragon Ball could someday be Studio Period or Studio Cockpit or whatever. It's not going to happen. Toei has the license to it. It's never going to change. So you could think about it if you want to. We could talk about it, but it's just not a reality. Now, as far as who I think would do a better job, my answer is anybody but Toei. Anybody but Toei. Thank you, Kenny G, for the nice comment there. Now, let's go ahead and get to the manga chapter. I want to discuss this with you guys real quick. Okay, so this manga chapter really is the retelling of Dragon Ball Super Broly that nobody wanted. Everybody who's reading this manga, and I mean everybody except maybe 4 people in this fucking solar system, already know this story. Toyotaro spends a big chunk of this chapter retelling Dragon Ball Super Broly, which was unnecessary. Now, again, some of you guys have your theories. Well, I think he might be setting up something bigger later. They're stalling for some kind of announcement. I understand all that. I'm not saying that you're even wrong, but there's no proof of that. Like, there's no person saying, yeah, we're just kind of, preparing something big. There's nothing. And until I see somebody say that, I'm going to remain skeptical. You can call me a skeptic or a cynicist if you want to. I'm not being cynical. I'm just being real. I want new Dragon Ball. I don't want a retelling of a couple movies that I already saw and enjoyed. I want you to understand, I like Broly and I like Superhero. They're very different movies, but they were fun. They were fun little movies. I can't even knock them. I don't think the manga versions, even if they add things, is going to be all that interesting. Now let's go ahead and get through it here. Here we have sort of the flashback of some of the events of Dragon Ball Super Broly. There are some modifications, obviously some stuff that couldn't be told. There's just stuff that he's just basically taking bits and pieces from the movie and putting it into the manga. Goku and Vegeta's fight with Broly, which is not going to be anywhere near as good as the movie version, because the movie version had one of the best assortments of animators ever, dude, in history. Like, to top that, yeah, good luck. You know what I'm saying? There's some slight changes here and there. We see Broly going Super Saiyan and Berserk, and then we see here Gogeta fighting Broly, which, again, that Naotoshi Shida cut from the movie is so phenomenal. Like, I'm not going to say that Gogeta Blue versus Broly is one of the best fights in Dragon Ball history, because that's a tough thing to say, but I will say it's probably the best fight of all of the Dragon Ball movies. Like, going all the way back to, like, Dragon Ball Z, Path to Power, and Battle of Gods Resurrection F. There's no argument that Gogeta versus Broly is either the number one best fight or top three, just based on the aesthetic of how it was done. So the manga won't be able to capture that, but instead of doing what the manga can do, which is give us more of a strategic thing, they just give us highlights. Manga fights have to be different than anime fights. Manga, when you're a mangaka, when you're a manga artist, you're limited to what you can do because you're doing still frames. So you can't do fluidity. We can't get animation in a manga, right? You follow me? But what you can do is you can make the fight interesting by telling a story. And that's something that Toriyama has mastered. That is something Toriyama was a natural at back in the day. Now, I'm going to say this about Toyotaro. Toyotaro's art has drastically improved. One thing you can't say about this manga chapter is that the art is bad. If you say that, this is a liar, pants on fire type of situation. You following me? You can't say the art is bad, because it's not. Toyotaro is a competent artist for doing this stuff. But he can't really panel and put together fights the way Toriyama could. And to be honest, not many can, because Toriyama is really talented when it comes to that. But the art was fine. Here we have the scene from the movie where Broly's powering down. So if you were waiting for more like Broly versus Goku stuff, like the training, you got it last manga chapter. You got nothing this manga chapter. What do you want me to tell you? You got nothing. Now, I want to talk about this meditation scene, because even before the manga chapter dropped, people have been talking about this thing all week. I've seen a lot of discourse about this, and it's very split. So I think we can all agree, and if you don't agree, you're in the minority, but that's okay. I think most of us can agree that the line in the movie where Vegeta is meditating and Goku's like, well, what's the point of that, is one of the dumbest lines that Toriyama ever wrote from pen to paper. It's almost as bad as Frieza's power level in Resurrection F. It's like Toriyama forgot the numbers. And that's why I think we need to have a continuity editor get hired to help Toriyama not forget these things. That's been changed. Now, has it been changed for the better or for the worse? This is what y'all have been waiting for me to talk about. I'm sure most of you, I've seen your comments, yo. Y'all are like, yo, what do you think about this, that, you know. I'm happy that Goku is no longer confused about Vegeta's mental training. That is a positive. Thumbs up, Toyotaro. You get a gold star, my friend. He turned 45 the other day, by the way. Happy birthday, Toyotaro, bro. I hope you got everything you wanted, bro. Including Vegeta popping out of a cake. He ain't the only person I know who wants that, let me tell you. So, that's an improvement. However, like Goku saying, you know, that's new for Vegeta. It's true. Vegeta's not really a meditator, but at least he knows what it is. Now, Vegeta mentioning Jiren, Broly, Moro, Gas, and now even Frieza, right? And Vegeta's inferiority, that's good. I like that because that ties in all the manga chapters we've gotten, you know, for the last few years into this movie. That ties together Broly and superhero. That's good. However, well, before we get to however, if you're in the chat and you're wondering why they didn't have this line in the movie, because I know a lot of you guys don't watch every video. You should, because if you watched every video I put out, it doesn't just help me out. Obviously, it helps me out, but it helps you out because if you miss something, you know, I usually have it covered. There's only a few things I've missed throughout the years. Very, very, very few. I can count them on one hand. And if you're wondering which hand is my masturbation hand, I'm not going to tell you. At least not yet. Maybe if you super chat me, I'll tell you. Oh God, Geekdom's greedy for money. No, I'm only kidding, bro. I'm only joking. It's just a joke. Just a joke. But, so the answer to your question about why they weren't mentioned in the movies, because, remember, Dragon Ball Super Superhero was written before the Moro and Granola arcs were done. Remember that. Toriyama was conceiving the script before the manga finished with those two arcs. So because of that, that's why you didn't see Ultra Instinct versus Ultra Ego in the movie. That's why you didn't see Granola and Moro getting mentioned, for that reason. It makes sense. Now, the other reason is because when they marketed Superhero, they marketed it as the follow-up to Broly. Because the reality is, and this is something that people have to understand, not everybody in the world gets this manga, nor do they read it. And Shueisha is very aware of this. So they had to set it up for two different kinds of fans. They had to set it up to where you have fans that have been reading the manga, reading Granola, reading Moro, to jump from Granola into Superhero. And that's what this manga arc is trying to do. But they also had to set it up for fans who aren't reading the manga, who are going from Broly to this. It's sort of like a clever way of them doing that. And that's why you didn't see Moro Granola mentioned. That's why you didn't see Ultra Ego versus Ultra Instinct, right? Now, I know what many of you guys are thinking, and I know what some of you guys have actually asked me on stream. Geekdom, do you think they're going to do UI versus UE in the manga version? And I told you, I said, probably not. I said whatever changes they're going to make from the movie are going to be minuscule and probably not important. I told you. Could they have done UI versus UE in this chapter? Of course they could have. That would have made the chapter pretty fucking awesome. We'd all be in here hyping it up like, okay, we got something that's actually tangibly different that we can say that's kind of cool. UI, UE, strengths and weaknesses, defense versus offense, destruction versus angel powers. I'm in. If they're going to give us another Goku and Vegeta fight, I'm in for that. Think about the history of Goku versus Vegeta. Saiyan Saga. Majin Vegeta. Right? SS2 versus SS2. Baby Vegeta. GT. Obviously, it's not the same thing, but it still counts as the Goku Vegeta show for that fight. Potafu. Copy Vegeta. Not the same. Training. They trained a bunch. and then UI versus UE. I don't want to see Goku and Vegeta fight again, but if it's UI versus UE, that's cool. I'm down to see that. Nah. Now, this line right here that I'm looking at is one of the most controversial and quite frankly one of the dumbest lines in this chapter, and a lot of people have been talking about it. Let me talk about it with you guys. He says, because Goku says, it just means you got to train your body more, right? And then Vegeta says, incorrect. Our physical bodies have long since been honed to their limits. In that respect, our training already made us on par with those opponents. So he's basically saying that his physical body is on par with Black Frieza, Moro, Granola, Jiren, Broly. I have a problem with this for a couple reasons. Number one, Vegeta already said this shit in the Universe 6 arc. In the Universe 6 arc, going all the way back to 2016, y'all, that's how long ago it was, Vegeta says, I think we're near our limits. And then what do we get? Super Saiyan Blue power boosts. We got UI Omen. We got Blue Evolution in the anime. Manga, we also got UI Omen, True Ultra Instinct, Ultra Ego, etc. So clearly Vegeta was wrong. Now, I don't like the idea of him saying this because Vegeta's thing has always been Saiyans have no limits. Now, obviously, when you say no limits, obviously there's hyperbole there. Everybody has a limit, right? But it's implied throughout Dragon Ball and Super that we haven't hit the limit yet. And that Goku and Vegeta will keep growing as the series progresses, getting stronger and stronger. Now, as somebody who's a big fan of martial arts storytelling, I like the idea of Vegeta saying we got to focus on our mental more than our physical. I like that. That idea in conception, I like that idea a lot. I don't like him saying that our bodies have been long since honed to their limits because it doesn't really fit with the story they've been trying to tell us, which is that they're trying to hit higher levels and aren't there yet. However, if they have to overcome a mental block, I'm fine with that. Ultimately, I don't think this line does as much damage as some people think it does. I don't think it's as bad as some people think it is. And here's why. Because whenever the story calls for it, they're just going to ignore it anyways. They're going to ignore this line. It's just going to happen. You know what I'm saying? They're going to ignore it. Because if in the next arc, Toriyama says, well, we got to give Goku and Vegeta more power, they're going to get more power. It's not, to me, nothing in Dragon Ball really sticks anymore because it's pretty obvious, and I'm sure you guys know this, they're making it up as they go along. Do they have a plan for Black Frieza? They might. Do they have a plan to tie into Oob and the end of Z? They might. But with each individual arc, they make it up as they go along. When they were writing the Broly movie, they had no idea they were going to do Granola, Moro, and Superhero. They had no clue. It's obvious. Now, Toriyama did a lot of this during the original run of Dragon Ball, but he was also a better writer back then. He was younger. And he was writing it week to week. Toriyama does not write this week to week anymore, y'all. Toriyama writes the outline for the entire arc. I've called it a manuscript, which, by the way, I've been explaining this going all the way back to 2015. Some people still don't get it. I've been on so many different YouTube channels, everyone from Rhyme Style to Quaman to everywhere in this platform discussing the manuscript and how it works. Toriyama writes an outline, Toyotaro adapts it to the manga, Toei adapts it to the anime, if there even is one, or movie. But he's writing the entire story. So, like, the story of the Granola arc was written ahead of time. And then Toyotaro did the month-to-month storytelling. So the outline, the bullet points are there. Toyotaro does the month-to-month. I think that Toriyama writing stories like that is not the best use of Toriyama. However, you can't call the guy every week and expect him to put out a new chapter because he's pretty much semi-retired. He doesn't do weekly manga anymore. And why would he? He's a multimillionaire, one of the wealthiest manga artists in Japan. Him, Kishimoto, Oda, the My Hero guy, the JoJo guy, I forget their names. Togashi, I'm sorry I forgot their names. I respect them, but I forgot their names. These guys are all super wealthy. Right? They don't have to write manga anymore. And Toriyama wrote manga for 15 years straight. Maybe a little bit longer, but he was writing manga for 15 years. I mean, he took one break, but then he said, oh, you know what? Fuck it, I'm rich, I'm done. He just writes outlines now. I'm not saying I want the guy to write a manga every week, but he doesn't have to. He does not have to. Dragon Ball prints money hand over fist. He gets a cut of it. Right? They could literally do a GT where Toei writes the rest of the series. He'll still get paid because those are his characters. That's his world. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, those all belong to Toriyama. They are his creations. So Vegeta goes on to say the key difference lies in how we wield our power. There's still too much excess, too much wasted energy when we fight. To command 100% of our power, we must forget our bodies and spirits to relax outside of the moment when we attack. I like that. I really do. A lot of that is stuff we've already been through, though. There are very similar principles discussed when we were talking about God and Blue earlier in the manga, like back in the Trunks arc, the manga version, and for Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct, you have to remember, Ultra Instinct's Japanese name is not Ultra Instinct. That's a marketing name that Lisa Yamatoya from Toei Animation invented. The name of that technique is Migate no Gokui, which means the mastery of self-movement. And to me, that's a better name. Mastery of self-movement. Your body moves on its own without thinking. It's instinct. Ultra Instinct. It's a cool name, but it's not what it actually is. Vegeta's basically saying that they have to relax, which makes sense. But didn't Goku say the same thing all the way back in Z for the full power Super Saiyan? Not the same thing, but very similar principles. So why is it that in Superhero we've got Goku, in the movie we got Vegeta telling Goku about meditation, something he's already done, and we've got Vegeta telling Goku about relaxation, something he's already done. The problem with Dragon Ball right now is that we have characters repeating the same shit over and over again. Why is Gohan once again learning to take his fucking training seriously? It's repetitive as fuck. And to me, this is why I think Dragon Ball needs new blood. I think we need new blood, new creativity, and we need to focus on other characters because they can't come up with that many interesting things. That's why I liked that the Granola arc, which I did not like that much, but I did like the fact that it focused on Granola. I like that. I like that there's other characters being... I like that Piccolo was most of the superhero movie. And I still love Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan. I'm not saying they're bad characters, but clearly the writers are having a hard time coming up with them to do new shit. Let's look at these super chats real quick, see what we got. Okay, there's no new super chats, never mind. Wait a minute, I just checked, we got over 1,000 people in here. Why do we have over 1,000 people? Right? We have 1,000 people and only 339 likes? Come on, y'all, leave a like. If you don't want to do a super chat, that's cool. Like, I respect it. Leave a like. Help the stream get up, man. We want more Dragon Ball fans in here, so we can discuss all the things they could be doing right. Let me read these super chats here. Hakayo7 says, I'm disappointed with Dragon Ball. I think they're out of ideas. Until the wrap-up of this retelling of the movie, I will not read the manga. Well, that's fair. I respect it. Make sure you still come to the channel, though, because I got some fire videos coming out. Y'all don't even know what I got coming out, bro. But I'm going to tell you today, actually. I'm actually going to give y'all a little preview of what I got coming out. I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it. Alistair Alexander says, I feel Vegeta's explanation is closer to UI than UE. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I do want to announce something real quick. Make sure you leave a like, bro. We're under. Come on, there you go. I appreciate it, man. Y'all leave a like, man. Help me out. Okay, so I want to tell y'all something I haven't told y'all yet. I was gonna tell you on this stream. First of all, don't forget I'll be on Twitch this Saturday streaming more Dragon Ball in high definition, upscaled, remastered, the way that Toei will not give it to you because they hate you and they hate me. But what I wanted to tell you was I'm introducing some new perks for members. So if you have not signed up for a membership, find any video on the channel, click join. There's going to be, like, click the join button, the blue button, click it, and then it'll pop up with a video telling you what the perks are. I have new perks that I'm going to be introducing, including some exclusive Dragon Ball footage that many of you have never seen. You're going to be getting that as a perk. So I dropped the other day a 15-second teaser for Dragon Ball from 1986. This aired all throughout February on Fuji TV, and it's recorded from VHS from like 86. That stuff that's really hard to find, you're going to get that here on the channel. So as a member, as a bonus membership. And by the way, that's for all members, no matter what tier you're in. Obviously, if you join Super Saiyan Soldiers, you get access to the Discord server, and you get extra stuff. And we do a lot of stuff in there, bro. We watch movies and fucking watch wrestling and MMA and boxing and Dragon Ball. And I've been watching Chainsaw Man. Don't worry, those reviews are coming. Am1 says, the problem is that if they hate us and love money, why didn't they announce any animation till now? Because they hate us, bro. You answered your own question. Because they hate us, bro. Or because they're dumb. Take your pick. Oh, but Geekdom, Toei makes money. How can they be dumb? Because they're, trust me, I can say that. They could make more money. Alistair Alexander says, I feel Vegeta's explanation is closer to UI than UE. Agreed, I mentioned that earlier. Cobalt J98 says, it feels like Goku is more surprised than Vegeta thought of that than he is skeptical like in the movie. Yeah, I agree with that. And that's an improvement to me. I think Goku seeing Vegeta meditating is an improvement. Now, if you've only seen the movie dubbed, hold on. Royals 685 says, I'm not up to date with Super anymore, but who's the villain now? The villain is Toei Animation. That's who the villain is. That's the real villain of Dragon Ball, y'all. Toei Animation. Let me actually screenshot that real quick. Who's the villain of Dragon Ball? I'm gonna tweet that, bro. Toei Animation's the villain of Dragon Ball right now, bro. Anyways, let's move on. Attacking in a relaxed state keeps the enemy from reading one's moves. Doing so allows for instantaneous explosive power and will also preserve stamina. No duh. That's what Ultra Instinct is. Why are we learning the same thing again, yo? Why are we going through the same shit again? I don't get it. We should be past this already, Toyotaro. Can you come up with something new for the boys to learn? Leave a like, bro. David Spadafora, thank you for your generous donation. Now, I don't hate this chapter entirely. I'm just kind of pointing out to you guys what they could be doing better. I think, listen to me, I think even though many people like what they're doing, even if you like this chapter or even if you like this arc, you have to acknowledge that it could be better. At the very least, acknowledge that it could be better. Clay in the chat says Black Air Force energy on Black Frieza. You know what? If they sold, let me tell y'all something right now. if Bandai or if Shueisha, whoever, sells black, I'm putting the mic up to my face like a black cock right here. Don't screenshot that. If they sell black Air Force Ones with the black and purple black Frieza colors, I'm buying those day one. Day one, they've got my money. See, we sit here and we say that Toei Animation is dumb, but really we're the dumb ones because we keep giving them money. I'm not going to pull a totally not Mark and tell you guys to boycott Toei because you won't do it. You know what was funny? Remember when Totally Not Mark had all of those copyright issues? Remember that? That wasn't funny. I'm not saying that was funny because I felt bad for him and I had my own issues. What was funny though is that Mark says, we should boycott Toei Animation. And everyone in the comments is like, yeah, boycott Toei, right? The minute that fucking superheroes fucking trailer came out, oh my God, it's the new movie, go on, Piccolo, yeah. So much for boycott fucking Toei, right? That's when you know they've got you by the nutsack, bro. That's when you know they've got you by the balls. When a YouTuber that you love is getting fucked over by Toei, and all they have to do is release a new trailer, and all of a sudden, oh shit, more Dragon Ball. That's when you know they got you, bro. And listen, I'm not even making fun of y'all. A lot of folks do that. I'm not picking on the Dragon Ball fandom, but it's funny how all it takes is a new announcement and all is forgiven. Dude, if they announce a new Dragon Ball anime tomorrow, everyone, myself included, is going to be like, okay, you're forgiven. Toei can do no wrong, bro. Toei can do no wrong. And I'm sure One Piece fans like Bindle and Emish and Angry Shadow are going to be happy. Angry Shadow's probably in the Discord right now. Yo, he said my name. Angry Shadow is a guy who, Angry Shadow, I want to put you out on blast right now. He's a One Piece fan, but he's afraid to criticize Dragon Ball because he's being followed by a bunch of Dragon Ball fans, and he's worried that if he criticizes the manga, that he'll get shat on. And I'm like, dude, fuck them. It's your opinion, bro. It's your opinion. Cosmo 3, that's a good point you made, bro. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point you made in the chat. Which, by the way, Mark was getting fucked over, just like I was earlier this year. Every single YouTuber that you guys watch has had a problem with Toei at one point or another. Black and Fist at one time had like 4 copyright strikes. Quaman's had issues. Unreal Ent has had issues. I've had issues. Totally Not Mark has had issues. I think Karthu may have had a couple of issues. And of course, the kings of Dragon Ball content, Team 4-Star, they've had more issues than almost any of us. Every Dragon Ball content creator, so if you're out there and you want to make Dragon Ball videos, be aware. Be aware that you may end up dealing with Toei at one point or another. It's part of the game. Now, thanks to my crack YouTube team and crack legal team, because they're not on crack, but they're crack, have Japan blocked. So they can't see any of my fucking content. Luckily, less than like 1% of my audience is from Japan, so it is what it is. Use a VPN, but because of that, I'm not going to get any copyright strikes from them for a very, very long time. So I win. Emish and Blackscape 2. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Blackscape's had issues. It doesn't matter who you like and who you don't like. A lot of people are going to have problems with Toei and with Shueisha. Let me real quick get to these super chats. Cobalt J. Toyotaro has visited this concept a dozen times. Mastered SSJ Blue. Anyone? Thank you. That's what I was saying. Thank you. John Cardizzi says, D, did you see the Lost Media Johnny Bravo where he commented over the final fight on Namek? 10 out of 10. I did see it. I didn't even know about it till somebody sent it to me. I might actually do a reaction to that on the channel. True SSJ Havoc, why do you keep mentioning Toei in these situations? Isn't it more Shueisha? Toei is just an animation company. I'm mentioning both of them. I'm mentioning both of them. But the reason why I'm mentioning Toei Havoc is because more Dragon Ball fans want the anime, and Toei is in charge of the anime. That's why. Because the majority of Dragon Ball fans would rather watch an anime than read this manga. That's why I'm mentioning them. Thank you again, David, for your super chat. Let's move on. So Whis puts them over. Beerus is waking up. We have the awesome scene coming up where Lemo is eating, and we have Beerus loving the food, all that shit. Dang, that's tasty. He should say that about about Chilai. And then we have the awesome scene right here where look at that art right there, bro. The way they drew her eyes, that's the scene where Beerus has like a hard on for Chilai. That's one of my favorite. Thank you, True Resistance. That's one of my favorite moments that's one of my favorite Beerus moments. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite. I might do a video called Top 10 Beerus Moments of All Time. That's one of them. When Beerus lays his eyes on Chilai and gets a fucking hard on. I think it's funny. Yeah, I agree. I actually love this shot of Chilai right there, bro. What Beerus doesn't know is that Broly already hit it. And if you judge Broly by the way his muscles are, his penis is probably like, you know? I'm just saying, it's probably big, bro. Now, I'm not fantasizing about it. That's something that fucking Fun Sexy does, but there you go. Gaming. Okay, wait, let me get to the super chat here. Thank you, WW. He says, simply would like to thank you for years of entertainment. Stay happy. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it, and I got more to come. Gaming Night says, how would you plot a Vegeta-focused film? Would you like one centered on his work under Frieza and an antagonist personally going after him, not Goku? I would be fine with that. I'd be fine with it. I mean, remember, Toriyama teased... Remember how Toriyama teased way back after Battle of Gods? He's like, the next movie could be about Vegeta. And it wasn't. It was about Frieza. But Vegeta did get to beat up Frieza. And you have to remember... Vegeta never beat up Frieza until that movie. So if you're a Vegeta fan, that was satisfying because Vegeta beat the fuck out of Frieza. Leave a like if you're stopping by, bro. It's probably a thumbtack minus the poke. Well, if Broly's taking steroids, then maybe. Cutie. Beerus getting fucking a boner over that chick, bro. So, this is the part where Goku and Vegeta were supposed to spar or whatever. But then we get to Earth, and then we have this whole story. This is all in the movie, by the way. With Piccolo, like, asking Dende about upgrading the dragon and, you know, the wishes and all that. Did he put the water on? I don't even remember if he did that in this version. I don't even see that. Maybe not. And then we have them eating. Here is the part where Vegeta and Goku spar. Now, again, fun fight. It was a fun fight in the movie, too. But not really something that is all that interesting, because it would have been more interesting if we saw them using UI and UE. I'm not hating on it. Like I said, the art is great. The actual art Toyotaro draws is fine. I'm not going to shit on him as an artist. Do you think Freezer will ever fight Beerus? Great question. I have a video on the channel called Black Frieza versus Beerus, the plan to overthrow the gods. Check that video out. It's a long form discussion where I go into that. The answer is yes, but if you want to know more about that, watch that video. Just type in Black Frieza versus Beerus, the plan to overthrow the gods, and that goes through it. I like that kick right there. Like I said, the art here is fine. It's just, we've seen this already. Dun, 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 dun. I almost want to read this, bro, while doing the soundtrack. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Bow, mow. Dun, 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 mow, mow. Anyways, I'm not going to beatbox this whole damn... I think Neo the one, I think they should have stopped making him look dumb for a while. MO says, does the Dragon Room exist since it seems they are writing the story as they go? Well, Toriyama's the one who's writing it as they go, but the room does exist. What they're doing, I don't know. But it exists. Here is the part with the ice cream, which was a fun part of the movie. Isocrimo. 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 Bum 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 bum. No. I like this part right here where this part was pretty cool how they're doing the test of strength and they're doing like a little tornado. Like there's cool stuff in here. I gotta understand. I don't just come on here. David, I have been to Boston once. I have been to Boston once in 2012. Wasn't a huge fan of the city, but I didn't get to explore it. Geekdom, what do you do when you're not filming videos? Ask your mom. Oh! Nah, bro. I watch content about investing in finance. I watch content about health. I watch content about retro gaming. I watch content about like conspiracies. I do a lot of stuff. I like movies, obviously. Go to World of Geekdom, bro. I watch wrestling, MMA, and boxing. I do all kinds of stuff. All kinds of shit. All kinds of ill shit. Get over here and dig in, Broly. And then Beer says, Broly's like, huh? There's the part where Whis puts the force field around them. Back to Capsule Corp. Piccolo summons the dragon, which, by the way, let me talk about the pacing. I was really hoping this would go by faster. I'm pretty sure I told you guys that this is probably going to end around August. I'm pretty sure I said that. And it's unfortunate, but I think it's going to end around August, if not after. 2023 is going to be remembered as the year where nothing happened in Dragon Ball. Because we got something every year. We got something new every year. This is the year where nothing happens. That's what it sounds like to me. But did you already watch the new Fast and Furious? I know you have a review of it, but I have not watched it till I watch it. So, first of all, I don't have a review of it. Why are you asking me if I saw it? Okay, so he goes, did you watch the new Fast and Furious? I know you have a review of it. No, I don't have a review of it because I haven't seen it yet. Number one. And number two, if I had a review, then that would mean that I saw it, right? I mean, that's kind of a weird question. Unless maybe you worded it differently. Thanks, Cammy HBK. Hold on, let me get these super chats here. Sultan says, Toyo probably spent more time drawing the food than the rest of the chapter itself. Also, I hope you're in good health. I'm fine. Cobalt J, thank you. Cobalt J says, Dustin versus Justin. Who's the new BMF? I hope it's Dustin, bro, but I don't know. He's talking about UFC 291. That's coming up later in July. I like Dustin Poirier a lot, bro. I hope it's him. DayZeus says, what's up, Big D? Not DB related, but have you heard of Vargina UFO case? The Ariel School UFO case? No, I have not. I have not known about those. Vargina, do you mean Virginia? Because it's almost like you wrote vagina. I don't know if you spelled it wrong, but no, I have not heard of that. Email me some videos about it. So Piccolo summons the dragon and gets the upgrades, you know. Oh, Master Piccolo, Piccolo-sama. Piccolo gets the upgrade into getting the 2 new forms. Bulma, where's the part with Bulma asking for, oh, there it is, her eyelashes and her booty. Now, this stuff with Goten and Trunks, this is one of the new scenes that was added to the manga, right? Don't forget your transformation watch. Okay, I'll make it work. Cool, see you soon. I wonder if they're going to have them become Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2 when we get to the Cell Max fight. So Chi-Chi, Goten, and Trunks got an extra scene. And they're talking about like Piccolo being at the place. So I mean that's good. Like that's a good extra scene. We didn't get the scene with Broly and all that stuff, so how about we go after Son Goku and that Vegeta fell? This is back in the Red Ribbon base. This is all stuff from the movie. They talk about Gohan and kidnapping Pan, which you remember was all, you know, Piccolo volunteered. I mean, this is all in the movie. None of this is really all that surprising. This could be the perfect chance to snap Gohan out of his slump, which it was, even though you were the sacrificial lamb, not Pan. There's the guy who looks like John Cena. Everybody knows about this guy. Yellow Spider guy says Bulma's about to hit the wall in a year. Sammy Sparks, I'm putting you in timeout because you keep spamming. Please do not spam. Please do not spam. Accelerator, give them one warning. If he spams again, time him out. And if he does it again, then kick him out. Because, like, dude, do not spam the same thing over and over again. This dude's been spamming the same thing 3 times every second. Like, do not spam. It's literally in the rules. Like, come on, dude. Have some fucking... Be an adult. Jesus. Okay, LQ Family says, will you give us a Budokai Tenkaichi 4 review once the game comes out? I hope to get it early and do that for you, yes. I want to get it on PC, though, if it's even going to be out on PC. N. Simmons says, so glad they fixed that horrible dub line where Shenron tells Piccolo you only had a little bit of power left. I don't know why they made that change. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that, yo. I really don't. I don't remember that. Okay. Moving on. The chapter ends with them going to get Pan. So next chapter, they're going to get Pan. And I'm going to assume that in the next chapter, it's going to end with Gohan showing up. And then we're going to have a couple more months of fighting. We're probably going to get the Gamma 1 and you know what, bro? Now that I think about it, it's not going to end till like September, October. Because we're probably going to get the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 fights be longer as well. That's my guess. They're about halfway through the movie. But I think that the Gamma 2, Gamma 1 fight and the Cell Max stuff is going to be longer than the movie. But overall, the pacing of this manga chapter is slow. It is slow. I mean, slow. I want them to hurry up and get it over with. I really do. I really do. Let me show you something real quick here. Because I promised I would. Hold on one second. So, just a quick preview of something. Let me go back on the screen share thing. Hold on. So this is the video coming out on Saturday. Gohan's next form after Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And then another video that I'm working on, it's going to be edited soon, is how Goku learned Super Saiyan 3. That's going to be coming up in June. That's, to me, that is it's basically taking you like how Goku learned it during the 7-year break. That's coming up. So that's going to be coming on the channel soon. I've also got a video I'm working on about, is Goku a bad father? That's going to be a big, big video, yo. It's coming out Father's Day weekend next month, so look forward to that. Let me check something real quick. Okay, let me bring in Double A to talk because he wants to say something. We've got one person because everybody's at work right now. We got one person waiting, but we got international people too. So I'm gonna bring Double A on before we close out. Overall, my review of this manga chapter: decent art, but pointless. Just again, that's gonna be my review. That's gonna be my review, right? For a while, it's just pointless. Let me real quick bring in Double A. Hey, Double A.
Yep, I'm here.
All right, you're live, bro. Give me your thoughts on the manga chapter before we close out. I want to hear your thoughts, and we're gonna get these last super chats. Send your Send your super chats in now, yo, because I'll be leaving. I'm gonna go see the Fast 10 here shortly, so I'm gonna make sure I get those in. So go ahead, bro. Let me get these super chats real quick before you give us your thoughts. They're quick. Cobalt J says, a way to excuse Toyo's Gohan regression is the slump Piccolo mentioned. We all reach a slump in life, even after you reach a turning point in your life. I agree, but it's the same thing over and over again. Willem Dine says, I'm not interested in the manga retelling the movie. Toei Shueisha had done that with the first 2 movies of Super. They need to stop doing that. Jeremy Allen says, do you think the reason why Dragon Ball is at a standstill is because Toriyama's working on Sandland? Jeremy, Sandland has been finished for 15 years. Toriyama's not working on Sandland. Toriyama finished Sandland like 15 years ago. The movie is adapting that manga. There's no new Sandland. Remember how I made a video where I told everybody, hey, go out and buy the Sandland manga? That's why. No, Sammy, you're not asking a question. You're spamming. This is getting ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, oh, stop.
Yeah, he got himself banned because, like, good job. The mod's doing a good job because, dude, literally he was spamming the same thing. I warned him, John warned him, and now he's still saying the same shit. Like, get out of here. If you can't follow instructions, dog, you're ruining it for everybody else. All right. MVP says, off topic, but why isn't Beerus' life linked to old Kai instead of Shin's since he was there first? Great question. I have no answer for it because I don't know. And what about the other Supreme Kais who Boo fought? Great question. I've been wondering that myself for many years. They obviously weren't retconned, so why wasn't Beerus linked to them? I don't know. I've asked that question myself. MVP says, lastly, is Universe 7 the only one that has multiple Supreme Kais? That, as far as we know, yes. Okay, Double A, sorry, man. Go ahead. Give me your thoughts on this chapter.
I like it. It's just they really didn't do much to differentiate from basically the movie aside from Goten and Trunks.
Yeah, one scene.
Basically one scene.
And the Vegeta thing, what he says is different.
Yeah, I think so, but then again, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, so I can't remember.
Well, that's what I was saying. What did you like about this? Like, what you said you liked it. What did you like? Because to me, besides the art, it's just the same old shit.
I just basically like it, but it's at the same time, it's like, why bother doing this? It's a waste of time and energy, and which it could be used for Black Frieza. Because
I don't know. I don't know. People have all their theories about, well, they're planning something and this and that. Like,
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe it's just because they just Tori Toritaro just wanted to basically suck off a superhero and
I don't think it was
do
his
that.
call, bro. I don't think that was his decision. I think that's
Well,
Shueisha's decision. I think he's just doing what he's told. Toritaro does not have that much power, at least not based on the stuff that we've heard. You know?
well, I yeah, but it's hard to tell sometimes because I don't keep up with what's going on behind the scenes.
Right, and I don't know for this for sure, but based on everything that we've seen, like it feels like it's not his choice. Now I could be wrong. Maybe it was his choice. It just feels like they're trying to like make the manga be more consistent, but it's not necessary because the Dragon Ball audience, when the movies come out, even in Japan, they go see them. So it's not like they're giving us something that's that new. Like if he rewrote the entire movie and actually did something like Perfect Cell Max or something else, which they're not going to do. I've said that I don't know how many times. And this is proof. Like they're not changing anything. So you know what I mean? Like, and what they are changing is very minor. So it just to me it feels like a big waste of time.
Or basically give a good reason for why they want Broly on Beerus's planet.
They
As
didn't even
in,
tell us that. Yeah.
yeah, because it's like
So what did
if
you
they're
like?
going to,
What did you like about it? You said you liked it. I didn't like it.
well, uh, I just they, really only thing I like is July Simpson scene for
Wait a minute. You said
Beerus
you
and
liked it. You only think of one thing.
well, and also tying it in with Golden and Trunks into the previous arc because that wasn't in that wasn't around before in the movie because it wasn't even made yet.
I know. I mean,
So those are
but wait, but okay. But what you're telling me is those two scenes by themselves made you like this? It wasn't enough for me, bro. Like it's just like those scenes weren't even
well,
necessary if you ask me.
yeah, well, I barely like it, but not enough to really love it. Basically,
I mean, I understand. I'm not trying to criticize your opinion. I'm just saying that if you like it, I want to know why. I just feel like it's just a hamster wheel. This is a fucking hamster wheel. Like, there's no
I,
point. Like, the Vegeta Goku fight in the movie was fine for what it was. That sparring my fight, it was fine for what it was. They could have skipped that even in the manga if they wanted to. You know. Let me answer the super chat. Calvin Rump says, "Wrath of Dragon Goku SS3 versus Mystic Gohan Buu Saga. Who wins?" Okay. In the movie, Gohan does Ultimate Gohan and doesn't do shit on Hirudegarn. Meanwhile, Goku wins. So movie, and I did a whole video about this years ago. I did a video called Movie Goku versus Anime Goku. Movie Goku always scales higher than Anime Goku, so Movie Goku I think is stronger than Ultimate Gohan. He is the one that took out Hirudegarn, so I'm gonna say he wins that fight. MVP says, did they ever mention why South Kai never came back? I mean, he only got absorbed as well, and how Daikaio Shin come back. Yeah, because South Kai was absorbed. You forget, South Kai was absorbed by Buu and was assimilated into his body. The Grand Supreme Kai, they explained it in the Moro arc how he came back. They actually gave us an explanation, but South Kai just isn't that important. Jeremy Allen says, I mean, when the movie comes out, just like Tight Kubo with Bleach. I don't know what he's talking about. When the movie comes out, just like Tight Kubo with Bleach. I don't know what he's talking about with Bleach. I've never seen Bleach, bro. Like, if you're going to reference Bleach, I have no clue what you're talking about. I don't know. And what movie? What are you talking about? This movie? Like, I'm confused. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this arc? Or, I'm sorry, not this arc, this chapter. This chapter.
because I'm like, this arc isn't even over yet.
Yeah, no, well, I'm going to hate it anyways. I'm talking about this chapter.
Basically around a 5, but I can't really give it any higher because if they change things around, then it might then be a whole lot better. Like UI Goku versus UI Vegeta. If they did that in the long in this retelling, then it'd be way up there. But they didn't, so I'm giving it a 5.
You're giving it a 5 out of 10?
Yeah, 5 out of 10.
In the chat, they're saying 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10. See, the thing is, like, if there was, here's the thing: if there was no superhero movie, okay, I'm gonna try and explain this. If there was no superhero movie, and this is all new stuff, it's like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6, right? Because I hate that Vegeta stuff he said. But because there is a superhero movie, I'm gonna go to like a 4 out of 10 and 3 out of 10. Like the art is what Johnny Topside says pointless out of 10. I agree with that. It's just pointless. Like it's just I'm not interested, and neither are a lot of Dragon Ball fans. Like I want something new. I don't want a movie that just came out. I say it every month, but it's true. And the pacing is ass. The art is good. And the chapters.
And when do I get the feeling they're going to retell it again of the anime? Because
I'm not even thinking about the anime. Like people keep talking about the anime coming back. I've already said I'm not talking about that again until we get an announcement.
Yeah, but I know. But I mean, if they're going to be adapting the manga, they're probably going to redo this arc a third time or something like that.
I mean, maybe. Maybe. I mean, you're right, but maybe they could do it better if it was on TV. Jeremy Allen says, hold on. He says in the chat, Sandland movie. I don't know what you're trying to say with the Sandland movie. I don't understand. Toriyama's not working on the Sandland movie, dude. Like, I'm gonna have to explain this again. Sandland is a manga that Toriyama wrote 15 years ago. It's being adapted into a movie. That's it. Like, there's nothing. Toriyama's not work. He already did Sandland. It's already done. I don't understand why you're not getting that. Like, Titan, bro, you're not wrong. I don't understand what you're not understanding about that. Like, Toriyama's not working on this movie, dude. He already wrote the Sandland story. There's nothing for him to do. It's being adapted. Like, that's it. Like, that. There's nothing else to it. Like, I don't. Do people still think that Toriyama works on movies, bro, and actually like animates the movies, bro? Are people still thinking that?
I think so, because I think some of them are just plain idiots.
I mean, I wouldn't say that about them. I wouldn't say that. You said it, not me. But I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that Sandland is old. There's nothing for Toriyama to do. Like, I just don't. That's like saying, well, Stan Lee worked on Iron Man. No, he didn't. He was just in the movie. He didn't work on it. It was an adaptation. Like, I think because Dragon Ball and anime fans are so used to this canon bullshit, they don't understand what adaptation is. Like what an adaptation is, right? And it's very strange because it's a pretty simple concept. They take an anime or take a manga and they make it into a movie or an anime. That's it. They take Spider-Man and they make it into a movie, TV show, whatever. It's an adaptation. I think if more. This guy said, is it true Akira doesn't animate anymore because he lost his original pen holder? That's pretty funny, actually. I have a pet peeve of fans who call him Akira. Like, it's not even a big deal, but, like, whenever I hear somebody call him Akira, like, dude, he's not your friend. Like, have some respect. I mean, I'm only somewhat kidding. Like, I would never call that guy Akira. Unless we were fucking friends. But I would never call him Akira. I'd call him fucking Toriyama Sensei, you know, like... He's an older guy, yo. Like, that's just me, though. That's just me. Not everybody's going to be like that. But anyways, we're going to get out of here, bro. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think I've basically gone over what I want to, and / there wasn't much to really talk about.
I know. I agree with you.
Arc for this manga and chapter, and pretty much this whole arc. It's basically going at snail's pace.
Now it is. Now it is. Alrighty, well, thanks for being here, bro. I'm gonna check out of here. All right, y'all. Well, that's gonna be it for the stream. I mean, I got one more super chat I'm gonna get to real quick. Cobalt J says this guy's calling your fans idiots when he's added nothing to the conversation. Listen, I see where you're coming from with that. I do not agree with him calling people idiots. I do not agree. I think of all the YouTube channels, mine is one of the ones that has a lesser amount of idiots than many others. Live action Disney is non-canon. What a great day to be alive. Yeah, check out my video on World of Geekdom about my thoughts on live action Disney, bro. Anyways, y'all, listen, I don't think you're idiots. I don't. I just think you want better Dragon Ball, which is what I want as well. But with that being said, once again, be there Saturday. Don't forget to be there on Saturday for the Twitch stream of the tournament arc, the semifinal and the finals. Do not forget to be there. And take care of yourself and each other. And I got a video coming out on Saturday too. So, and a big one coming out next week. Orange Piccolo versus Moro. Might versus Magic. Who wins? Find out. Anyways, I love you guys. You know that. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones and each other. Catch you in the next one.